Hey everybody, welcome back. Working on the other wing this morning, getting the servos installed. I already put the inside slat servo in because you have to put it in before you go in, put the flap servo in. Like I stated last night, I'm not really using their mounting system. Their servo boxes, I mean, they're in there straight, they just don't work as easy as the way I'm doing it, especially this outside one, because they designed it to use a smaller size servo. I'm using just a standard size servo, so I went ahead and cut everything out. You have to sand quite a bit to get these servos in here like you need to. Essentially all I did was took come on, get out of there. Took a yeah, they're tight. Once you get them in there, they're kind of hard to get back out. Actually, let's go this way. There we go. Just taking a ply piece that I mount the servo to, using the L brackets that they supply, and gluing that in, lining it up with the access hole for the rods. I did that for the outer slat, and which is this guy, and then the mini servo that's going to be in here for the spoilers. This BLS 671 SV. They're all high voltage, so I'm running 7.4 volts. It's it's over 100 ounces of torque. That should be plenty for spoilers. And the reason why I'm doing it like this, the wing is completely carbon fiber, and it's very stiff, very thick carbon fiber. Plus you have bulkheads right here, very close, so you're not going to get any flexing from the servo. And the idea comes from the flap servo. It's done just like this. They got two plates glued in with another ply on top, and then you just essentially drop it straight in, which is what I was going to show you guys. You have to get this rod with the bend on it just right, because if it goes in too far, it hangs up and it won't work right. So you kind of have to find that sweet spot in the shaft as far as pulling in and out, getting it lined up. And then, so what I did, make it easier, is put the flap on, put the shaft in there, which I have to do prior, and then put this in last, and just lining it up with the angle that you need just by rotating this and then sliding this on. If you have to, take a pair of needle nose once you have the shaft where you need it, and hold it while you slide this piece up on. There you go. Because if not, you'll end up pushing the shaft further back into the flap, and then it won't work right. So, and then doing that, you can turn on your radio, plug in your receiver, and test it. Make sure you don't have any binding. There it comes. There you go. And you just check it for binding, and plus this way you can... Uh-oh, what happened? There we go. Alright, so there is level, and I might back the servo up a little bit. Yeah. It buzzes a lot, but it's not a lot of force. It's just digital servo. So check it like this. Make sure it works smooth. You only need about 20 degrees. And then once you have that lined up, then you just mark your holes. And I usually go ahead and tighten up the the set screw, because there is a little bit of play on that shaft. There you go. It's actually a really good design. I mean, you know, right off the output shaft of the servo, I had a helicopter that was like this, and it's a real nice feature. It gets rid of any slop. The only slop that you're going to get is possibly in here, inside the shaft is sandwiched by wood. But I have no slop, so I'm just going to go with like that. If over time it develops any play, then I'll start putting shims in there, or brass tubing over the shaft. But yeah, just want to show you guys that now. All you have to do is just mark your 4 holes. You have to be careful what you use for a screw. I use these little tiny ones. If not, and be careful when you drill, you'll go all the way through your wing. So just want to show you guys that. Once this wing's done, the only thing left for me to do until I get the rest of the stuff is I'm going to go ahead and put the fuel pumps in and the 2 air tanks. I'm going to run 2 air tanks for the mains, and they're going to sit kind of up in this area as well. There's plenty of room in here to put things. I'm probably going to mount the pumps and the tanks in here, and my shut-off valve, the little ball valve, is going to be inside here. So when the gear's down, you know, you land, you taxi back in, you shut the turbines off, you just reach up in here, turn your valve. That way you don't have to open and close these every time. And I don't like taking the nose off every time, so that's kind of what I'm going to do as far as the setup. And then, like I said, now let's be waiting on the nose. I'm going to use the current nose as a, and go ahead and start making like the boards and everything for all the valves and stuff like that. So when it does arrive, I can just take them out, hard mount them in the new nose, and then it'll be done. This is a quick build. I seem to be spending more time, doing personal things, like cutting these boxes and stuff. It's one of those things that, if you were doing them yourself, it'd be quicker probably, because you could do them like you want. But since they already install them, you have to kind of work around. And if you do their recommended setup as far as the servos that they use, stuff's going to go in quick. Like me, I had to do a little mod because I used a mini servo for the spoilers, and they used a servo that had the same stats as their inside servo, but it was smaller, so it fit in here like they needed. But I'm using a standard servo, so obviously I have to do some mods there. But overall, it's a solid jet. Glue joints and everything are real good. The wings are super nice. They're very hefty wings. The only really part that makes me worry with the wings a little bit is just that spar. I would have definitely used a thicker carbon fiber spar, but obviously it's not an issue because they've been flying the heck out of them and putting quite a bit of G's on them, and nobody's had any kind of wing failure. So I would say there's nothing wrong there. The gear, I have decided to take it out and take it apart, clean it up a little bit, and paint it, do some detailing, for the most part. The problem I'm running into is just, it's not very, when they painted it, it just makes everything work not as smooth as it should. So I'm going to take it apart and clean it up, repaint it. So just my personal preference once I get done with it. It's a good gear though. I like it. It's very light, which is good, and it seems to be very sturdy. Only thing I'm not sure of is I got to do this on the Avanti as well, is how they do their strut adjustments. They use an oil with air mix, so I don't know if I need to put more oil in it and air to get it to the proper stiffness to hold the aircraft up because of the weight, or if I can just put air in it with the amount of oil that's in there. So if anybody's got any ideas or know exactly how they're intending this to work, let me know. But other than that, that's about it. You guys take it easy and we get back to building.